What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and I've got some breaking news that I gotta get you caught up on, and this could be changing everything, as we are hearing that right now across the seas over in Europe, the pandemic, it is spreading like never before. And as a result, there are some countries that are starting to mandate vaccinations be done. And also a lot of lockdowns are starting to take place. Now, let me know your thoughts on this, because listen to this. I'm going to be sharing with you a news report that just came out. And what they're saying is that the patterns that we usually see with the pandemic in Europe take place in the United States, usually about 1 to 2 months right after. And they're saying this could be the path that we're going to be following here very shortly. And this, like I said, could be changing everything. Now, let me know your thoughts, but take a look at this small clip of this video footage we're going to be watching here in just a second.
Now, the country has taken it a step further and has put everyone under lockdown regardless of their vaccination status, and has issued a nationwide mandate for everyone over 12 to get the vaccine by February. And what happens in Europe usually happens about a month later here in the United States, so we can all expect that right around Christmas and New Year's, parts of the country are going to be talking about lockdowns and beefing up restrictions. Winter is coming. Don't shoot the messenger.
So there you have it. Let me know your thoughts down below. And we're going to be watching the entire clip here in just a moment. But now we're starting to see articles coming out like this in just the past 24 hours, you guys. Take a look. Austria's plan to make the pandemic vaccines compulsory is dividing citizens, experts say, as they are now making this mandatory in Austria. Here's another one. Most Germans to be vaccinated, cured, or dead within months, says the minister. And they're saying by February. They're expecting the spread is happening so bad that everyone will get the pandemic, and they're either going to be vaccinated to avoid it, they're going to get cured after they get it, or they're not going to make it. But everybody they're expecting is going to be getting the pandemic here in the next couple months. Take a look at this one. Vaccine holdouts face a $4,000 fine in Austria's crackdown of the pandemic. Now, let's take a look where the U.S. stands with all of this. As you can see right now, cases in the United States, there's about 95,000 as the 7-day moving average, and it's on the incline as yesterday. There was 158,000 new cases in the U.S. And also take a look here, deaths are also on the increase as well, with 1,400 as the 7-day moving average per day. So you guys, right now it is on the move. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If we do follow the pattern of Europe in about a month or so, how do you think that we're going to be responding? Do you think Congress is going to start implementing mandates as well? How do you think the American people are going to respond to that? And right now, as you know, Congress is working away on a stimulus package to help us get through with our economy through the course of this pandemic. Do you think they're going to need to implement more provisions if this happens? Now, as you guys know, I will keep you up to date here on the channel, and a lot of people are asking about stimulus checks. Right now, there currently is not a check in the stimulus package, but if we start going through this and there are more lockdowns, do you think we'll need to see more checks, more unemployment extensions? Do you think that could be a part of all of this as well? Let me know your thoughts down below, but hopefully we won't have to find out. We won't go down this road. Now, I'll keep you up to date here on the channel, but you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in and get you caught up on the latest that's unfolding with the pandemic around the world as of today, November 23rd, 2021. Now, before we dive in though, I just wanted to say thank you for all the support on the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. If you're interested in growing wealth and learning about personal finance, consider joining. I will pin a link down below in the comments. All you got to do is click it, go subscribe, turn on notifications. And when we launch that channel, I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to help out a lot of people with investing in real estate, stocks, crypto, launching businesses, and learning about personal finance. And also, before we dive into this video footage and get you caught up on everything, just do me a quick favor. Just takes a second. Just smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps out my channel. Even if it's not good news to hear about the spread of the pandemic around the world, it helps out the channel and supports it. It lets YouTube know that you appreciate the updates. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Just takes a second. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. And if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of. All you got to do is shoot me a DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. And I go through all my DMs. I get a lot of them. So give me a little time to respond, but I will go through and do my best to help you out as best I can, you guys. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this video footage so that way you can see it for yourself directly from the news report as to what's going on in Europe.
Well, last week, the Chancellor of Austria put unvaccinated people under lockdown. We talked about that here on the show. People who have not yet received the vaccine have only been allowed to go to work or do essential things like get groceries. Otherwise, they had to stay home. Now, the country has taken it a step further and has put everyone under lockdown regardless of their vaccination status, and has issued a nationwide mandate for everyone over 12 to get the vaccine by February. Austria is the first country to go this extreme. Other countries, like the U.S. and Italy, have implemented vaccine mandates for certain cohorts of the population, but Austria marks the first time a government has issued a mandate for all its citizens. During the press conference, the chancellor announced, quote, "For a long time, perhaps too long, I and others assumed it would be possible to persuade people in Austria to voluntarily get vaccinated, that we could persuade them for their own protection and for the protection of those around them, their loved ones, friends, and coworkers. But we must confront reality," he said. Yikes. Basically, he's saying they gave the people an illusion of choice, but when they didn't do what they were supposed to do voluntarily, they're now going to be forced into it. This quote kind of reminds me of the saying, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions." People in Austria didn't take too well to this. Protests have erupted all throughout the weekend, with tens of thousands of people taking to the streets. In fact, all throughout Europe, hundreds of thousands of people continue to protest the various mandates being imposed. Germany is also considering mandatory vaccinations for all citizens and warned that by the end of winter, everyone will be either jabbed, cured, or dead because the virus is spreading so quickly in the nation. The U.S. State Department has issued level 4 travel warnings, urging Americans not to travel to Germany or Denmark due to a surge in cases in the two countries who were once hailed for their COVID response. Restrictions are just being piled on all around Europe, from full lockdowns in Austria to partial lockdowns in the Netherlands to restrictions for the unvaccinated in Germany and in the Czech Republic to vaccine passports in France and Italy to mask mandates in Spain and Poland to work from home orders in Ireland. Yet the virus rages on. And what happens in Europe usually happens about a month later here in the United States, so we can all expect that right around Christmas and New Year's, parts of the country are going to be talking about lockdowns and beefing up restrictions. Winter is coming. Don't shoot the messenger. Down under in New Zealand and Australia, the two nations are hitting summer when the virus is expected to wane. Nonetheless, they've also taken some pretty harsh measures. New Zealand's prime minister has admitted to creating two classes of people in the vaccinated and unvaccinated in a bid to forcibly motivate people to get the vaccine. In parts of Australia, there's now camps where they cart COVID-positive people and their close contacts away against their will to be quarantined in isolation from society. Now, this is what China did at the beginning of the pandemic. If you remember, the people in bubble suits forcibly throwing people into vans, we all watched in utter disbelief and thanked our lucky stars we lived in the free West, or at least we thought. Now, all of these measures, from lockdowns to passports and mandates and now camps, these are all in an attempt to stop the spread. But the virus isn't stopping. Nothing has stopped it from spreading. Every single nation that has once been revered as the shining example of how to beat the virus has eventually been hit. Singapore, Iceland, Germany, and Denmark. No one is being spared. And all of these measures that continually infringe on the rights of the people only backfire with the wave of anger that we're already witnessing in Europe. Where that anger will lead when people have had every ounce of their autonomy taken from them and the virus is still with us, I think politicians should stop and think long and hard about that. The fact is, the vaccines are working as they were intended. They are helping, for a period of time, prevent the most severe outcomes for those who are the most vulnerable, people over the age of 65. As experts, including Fauci, have noted, they wear off against severe disease, so you can't count on them forever. Maybe you're going to be needing some booster shots. But they have brought us some time to develop medications, and that should have been and that time also should have been used to test existing medications that will help prevent COVID from progressing into a severe disease. If we can prevent severe disease, that should be the goal. Pandemic over. The only goal at this stage, after every failed attempt to eradicate the virus by stopping the spread, is to focus on outcomes. And the irony is, in Austria and Germany and all of these countries that are reeling back into restrictions, their death rates are actually much lower than they were last winter. They have vaccinated their most vulnerable, and it's working, but they still seem fixated on stopping the spread. And this fixation on eliminating COVID has caused, in my opinion, political leaders to panic and greatly overstep their bounds. The consequences of this massive government overreach will be felt sooner than later when one by one, people who believed that these restrictions, mandates, and efforts were the way out see that they aren't. The goal should be obvious at this point. Do what we can to prevent severe disease in those who are the most at risk of terrible outcomes. Most people are not at risk. Maybe we should leave those people alone and instead focus on the people who are at highest risk. So I hate to break it to you guys, but I do think lockdowns and restrictions are possibly coming to the United States. We have always been 1 month behind Europe. And, look, if we do not shift our focus to just outcomes, hospitalizations, deaths, we've got pills coming out from Pfizer, pills from Merck. We've got other pills that, some doctors claim work. So look, pandemic over at this point. If we can just keep people out of the hospital, we're all going to get COVID, pandemic over. I don't know any other way to do this anymore. What do you guys think?
Well, there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, whatever unfolds, you know that I will be here on the channel and I'll keep you guys up to date with the state of the pandemic, with Congress, the economy, unemployment, stimulus. I'll let you guys know what's happening. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. And again, if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, smash that like button. Helps out the channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date on economic news, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. If you'd like to learn about personal finance, consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, I hope this reaches you well. I will catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.